Should a young man build himself first before dating or learn through the dating process as he goes?
My opinion is I would build myself first, know what I want, know what I stand for. I dated a girl who had a lot of guy friends. Sure enough, one day they made out. I found out. I wanted to kill her. I wanted to kill him. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. What happened?
Should a young man build himself first before dating or learn through the dating process as he goes?
My opinion is, as someone who had to learn through the dating process, and it was like a walk through hell. If I could come back, I would build myself first, like physically, mentally, emotionally, know what I want, know what I stand for, know what I don't want in a girl, right? That way, I could find the right one within the first couple of swings of the bat. Mm-hmm. Because in my particular case, I hadn't done any of the self-work, self-building, self-growth. And so it took a lot of trial and error and heartbreaks and fights, arguments to figure out, like, that's not the type of girl I want. That's not the type of girl I want. That's not the type of things I want to do. Okay, this is what I want to do. So, okay, now you got one thing in the bag of I want to do, three things that I don't want to do. And then you just keep going. So I did the self-growth while going through multiple relationships. Mm-hmm. And, bro, it was painful. It was like heavy amounts of fighting, arguing. And quite honestly, I don't think I was the best boyfriend to some of them, because I hadn't done my own, like, healing, right? I'm not saying like you got to be 100% across all categories to then, because you might be like 40 years old by then, right?
Right.
But have a basic, like Andrew.
Sure.
Like, again, going back to Andrew, my son, he's 19 years old. He knows the type of girl he wants. He knows the type of personality. She has to be adventurous with food. He loves food. She has to work out. He loves to work out. She has to be stoic. He's very stoic. He's a thinker. Like, he has some basic needs that he's looking for. Well, that's because we've taken the time to instill that in him and then help him figure out what those needs and values are. Right. I think it's one of the greatest things a guy can do is develop himself before he find his honey.
For sure. Particularly on the point that you brought up a second ago was knowing what you stand for before going into a relationship. I don't know if you have any examples of something that's happened to you before on that note, but I think that's where a lot of men fall short, especially when you're younger. When you're older, you obviously have more experience and you're like, I'm not putting up with freaking what Sally did to me 10 years ago, whatever, ever again. But when you're younger, you don't really understand that. So why do you think that's so important to understand, what you stand for before getting into a relationship?
I'll give you a great example, actually, of that. That I always had known that guys and girls can't be friends. I just have known that, instinctively known that, even as a kid in high school.
That's already a hot take nowadays, which is crazy.
Yeah. Guys and girls cannot be friends. Especially the guy is waiting to get in somehow. He's waiting for her to have a weak moment with her boyfriend, to break up with her boyfriend, and he wants to get in. And for her, that guy who's a quote-unquote friend, as I think Chris Rock said it in one of his comedy bits, that guy is a dick in the jar. In case of emergency, break glass, right? So, like, hey, you just had a fight with your man, and now your best friend is a guy because, I'm the kind of girl that hangs out with guys. I get along with guys better than girls. Girls are always jealous of me. Shut the front door, right? Anyways, so even though I knew that guys and girls can't be friends, I dated a girl. I was probably 22 years old. I dated a girl who had a lot of guy friends. I'm more of a tomboy. I just do better with guy friends. I was like, all right, even though, like, right? Because I hadn't really drawn a hard line, like, that's not what I stand for, but I just instinctively knew guys and girls can't be friends. This is going to be a problem at some point. Sure enough, one day, she ended up in a bar with her guy friend, alcohol. They made out. I found out. That was the end of that. I was heartbroken. I wanted to kill her. I wanted to kill him, but it was my bad decision because I was like, man, I had an instinct that guys and girls can't be friends. I didn't make that a hard non-negotiable, and it ended up going this way. And there's probably dozens of things like that I can cite through my own personal examples, but that just being one of them. And the reason it's important for you to have those non-negotiables is because, and by the way, and I think women should have that towards the guys they're with.
Sure.
Like, if there's a guy out there that's like, oh, I'm just friends with my coworker, and my coworker happens to be a woman, and we go to lunch together, bro, there's some emotional bonding that's happening there. There's some emotional energy being changed.
Right.
And I would call that almost a emotionally cheating. And that can lead to the next thing, because now it's like, well, I got to fight at home with my girlfriend. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. What happened? Oh, she said this and I said that, and then she said this. And then your coworker who's a girl is like, well, I would have never said that. I would have let you hang out with your friends. Oh, you would? Well, I wonder how your punani tastes. That's like it goes just like that. Goes just like that, bro.
0 to 60.
0 to 60. 0 to 100. It's like, oh, you wouldn't say that, like my girlfriend? Well, you want to bang? And so that's, I know I'm joking here, but I'm not that far off. No, and every guy listening knows that.
That's why it's funny, because you're like, I could picture that happening.
Yeah. And so because of that, man, stick to your core values and then have your non-negotiables and do not compromise whatsoever.
Right on.